Today I want to talk about accountability and accountability as far as not just our actions but our words. Hey everybody, it's JR. Today is Friday, August 6th. Today I want to talk about accountability and accountability as far as not just our actions but our words. Last week for a day or two, neither one of us was a little motivated to work out in the evening. We didn't push as hard as we normally do, so we held ourselves accountable. Yes, we did what we was up to do, but we still got something in. The reason what got me on this thought process was the other day I heard a friend of mine tell his girlfriend, jokingly, I don't know how serious, if he put on 45 pounds in a year and a half, that they've been together because of how good she cooks, regardless if he was serious or joking. He's got to hold himself accountable because no matter how good she cooks, he can push the plate away. So it got me on that thought process of holding ourselves accountable for our thoughts and our actions. A lot of times people don't take accountability for their thoughts or actions. Excuse me. And it's quite disturbing sometimes because honestly, I used to think like that sometimes, that I wouldn't hold myself accountable for my thoughts or my actions. And now that I think about it, it made me realize that accountability is a key thing for our life. You take responsibility and accountability for your thoughts and actions, and don't just blame somebody else for your actions or thoughts. Even if you accidentally didn't mean to say something or do something, you should still hold yourself accountable and apologize for it, even if it was unintentional, because it can mean a lot. Because a lot of us, we're human, we make errors, we don't do things a lot. Sometimes we don't do it unintentionally. I know I don't intentionally do things like that, and I hold myself accountable to the best of my ability, because I feel it makes you a better person if you can push aside that ego, that pride. And I'm not just talking about male ego or male pride, I'm just talking about human ego or human pride, because women have it too. I don't know what to call it, female bravado or female ego or pride. I mean, you got male ego, so why not? But women have it too. I mean, they got women out there that don't want to take accountability for their actions and thoughts because their pride and their ego won't let. That's a whole other issue when it comes to stuff like that, because some people can't. It's a psychological thing. Excuse me. Sorry. Accountability also in life, we make choices. This whole pandemic, people, they make choices to not get vaccinated. That's their choice. They make choices not to wear masks if they're not forced to or mandated to. You get sick, you catch COVID. Don't blame it on somebody else because of your own fault that you didn't do what you needed to do. And that's another thing that's going on lately. One doctor saying that people are saying that they want the vaccine when they're on their bed sick, whether they're recovering or they're gonna die. They all of a sudden want the vaccine. So accountability, for your actions. Like me, I'm vaccinated. I can still get it. I wear a mask because I don't want to catch it and spread it to somebody else and feel bad, because then I have to hold myself accountable because I didn't take the necessary precautions to protect myself and others. So accountability does play a part in our lives. So does taking responsibility for our thoughts and actions. And in everyday life, I try to be responsible for my own thoughts and actions. Yeah, I'm not perfect. There's things that spill out of my mouth before I even think about what I'm saying. It just blurts out, and sometimes it might hurt somebody. And if they bring it to my attention, I will own up to it, and I will say, I will explain myself, because I don't think before I speak a lot of times, and I know that's a bad habit that I have. But taking accountability, speaking of that, Simone Biles recently, she did in the Olympics bowed out because she has what's called the twisties that throws off her game, and she's owning up to it because she feels that she wasn't performing. She wasn't going to be able to perform at the best of her ability, and that's her taking accountability for her action and not just blaming it on something else. She's, stepping back because she feels that she can't perform at her best. And they got athletes that do that. And I think it's a good step, when you can hold yourself accountable for a mistake. Like if you cause your team to lose and you realize it was something you did, take accountability or responsibility for your mistake instead of trying to put the blame on somebody else or something else. Sometimes you don't know what caused the issue of whatever it is, whatever happened. But if somebody points it out to you, don't just look at the whole scenario and be like, oh wow, I didn't realize I did that. It will go a long way, and as a person, as your character. So accountability and owning up to your responsibilities for your actions and thoughts, it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a weak person. I used to think like that, I used to think that things like that would make you weak or make you look small or make you look, like less of a person. But it doesn't. It makes you look more of a better person than it does to not own up to your responsibility or actions or accountability. I don't look at a person as less of a person if they are man or woman enough, or if you want to be politically correct, human enough to take responsibility and accountability for their actions and thoughts. Because when I was younger, I used to not take responsibility or accountability for a lot of things. I used to try to find an outlet to blame it on, and I'm not afraid to admit that. There's a lot of stuff in my younger days that I'm starting to realize what I did and owning up to my actions, because I wasn't a great person. I wasn't a nice person. I mean, I still try to be the best version of myself, but sometimes, people bring the worst out of you. Sometimes unintentionally, sometimes intentionally. But I feel if I can own up to the things that I used to do and, back in the past and figure out that I can become a better person. I'm trying to be the best version of myself every day, trying to help people, trying to give advice where I can, trying to just do right, because I don't want to be looked at in a bad way when something does happen to me. I want people to look back and reflect like, wow, he was a motivator. He tried helping people. He wants to try to help people to the best of his ability, because when it comes down to brass tacks, when you help people, it's ultimately, you can give them all the help you want, but it's up to them to want to accept the help. And like I said, I'm not perfect. There's days that I just want to just not do nothing, like at all. And my wife, well, she'll like just ask me, things to try to help me keep from falling off. We are almost done our 6 weeks regimen where we take a week off of our workouts. And I know I'm going to take a week off and completely do nothing. I'm not going to lift weights. I'm not going to do cardio. And I know there's a 50-50 chance that I'm going to put on a little weight, maybe not, but that's my own personal thing. I need to do a full reset, like a full physical reset of my body and my workouts. Let my body just physically relax, and just go to where I want to go, like, to the grocery store, plasma. I mean, I'm not just going to sit home and be lazy. I mean, I can't. I have a household to run errands for. I donate plasma. I got to go to the grocery store, still. I'm not just going to sit down and be lazy, because I can't. But I'm not going to lift weights and I'm not going to exercise. I'm just going to do my normal everyday, routine. So all in all, just think about yourself, your actions and your thoughts, and take accountability and responsibility for your actions and thoughts. Even if they're intentional or unintentional, it's all about you. You take responsibility for whatever it is you do. You hold yourself accountable for things that you do. And even if it's an accident and you do something that upsets somebody or hurts somebody's feelings inappropriately, unintentionally, you still hold yourself accountable and you realize what you did and you try not to do it again. I'm trying to do that myself, because there's times that I've said stuff that's probably hurt my wife unintentionally, or my mom, or somebody else in my life. But if they don't tell me, how am I supposed to know not to do it again? That's the main thing that I try to look at. If somebody does something or says something inappropriate and they don't mean it, and if you don't point it out to them, they're not going to know that they did it. Case in point, that if people joke with you and people try to be funny and they make a joke that offends you, like you're a heavyset person and they make a fat joke and it offends you, if you don't say nothing to them about it, they're going to keep making jokes unintentionally, not towards you, but just in general, and it's going to offend you and it's going to hurt your feelings. But if you don't tell them, like, hey, those jokes really, really touch me and make me feel, hurt, they're not going to know that they're doing it. So it takes two people, if somebody does something or says something to offend you unintentionally, if you don't point it out to them, because I say this to my wife all the time, if I say something that hurts her feelings or upsets her, tell me, so I can try not to do it or say it again. Because when you unintentionally hurt somebody's feelings or upset somebody or piss somebody off, if they don't tell you, how you going to know to fix it? And hold yourself accountable for something you did, whether it's unintentional or intentional. But that's all the time. I've had for today. So I will talk to y'all on the following. Oh, wow. I just looked at the calendar. My next video is going up on Friday the 13th. There is a little tidbit that I learned a couple of years ago, that if the first of a month falls on a Sunday, you will have a Friday the 13th in that month. If you don't believe me, go back 10 years to every month that had a Sunday that fell. The first of the month fell on a Sunday, and I probably 95% guarantee that they will have a Friday the 13th in that month. It's a little information that I found, and like I tell people, I have a bunch of unused information or information that's probably just stored in my brain for like stupid reasons, but it's good to know. I love knowledge no matter how small or how big or when it's going to come in handy. I just love knowledge. So y'all have a good weekend, and I will talk to y'all on Friday, August 13th, and see y'all then.